pinnacle of human perspective.
Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining. Well, this one is all about sort of my theories I have going on with the Mandela effect and the causes of it. For a while now, I've been trying to lump everything into a single cause, and the more I research this, the more I think that we're looking at several different things going on here. While some of the changes seem purposeful, like they have a message in them, others just seem like, and I know I've said it before that, multiple timelines don't make any sense, but multiple timelines don't make any sense for the purposeful changes. But some of the changes, like if you look at Affected Collective's channel where she shows some of the technology, I think the JFK would fall into that category. There's certain changes that it just makes sense that it's an alternate timeline. But I think whenever you start finding residue, and it's not recent residue, then it's probably a purposeful change, like someone intended to make the change. But then there's a third cause. I think we're actually, we always picture the Ascension process, the 5D world, some call it the rapture. There's all sorts of names about this change the Earth is supposed to go through. And I think that it's not a fast process. I'd already realized that it wasn't nearly as quick as, say, some of the Christian, like, Left Behind type movies portray it as, people disappearing or floating up. I saw one years ago that was really funny. They go to find somebody and they'd just be like some folded clothes in a pile. The person would be gone. I guess the person thought it would be orderly and they wouldn't take their clothes with them. It was just kind of funny. But the reason I tend to think that we're looking at some shifting into this higher realm, or the new Earth as many call it, is because of some of the different things that we're starting to see around. Now I know people seem like people are changing, right? I mean, I know I've changed quite a bit, and right at first when I realized this Mandela effect was really happening, I reached out to people closest to me and was really shocked by the responses I got and was really put off by it. And that's one of the reasons why I sort of came to the YouTube, and in many ways I was so glad everyone in my household was on board, but close people outside of my household were not hearing it, and just it was very difficult, because for them you're just kind of presenting some kind of theory, some kind of just something you saw online or whatever. They don't realize it's like, I woke up with blue eyes one morning and everybody's saying, oh, your eyes have always been blue, or something crazy like that. And it was equally as shocking and crazy to get the responses I was getting as well. And I think, like in the Bible, how Jesus, I think it was Jesus, it said just to shake the dust off your feet and move on. And that's sort of where I had to go with that, because as this became real and I sort of found my purpose here, and no one I knew that was close to me was hearing me out, I had to move on. And you know what, I was glad I did, because I got online, I got on YouTube. I've been helping tons of people that, it really makes me feel good when, somebody was sort of freaking out about it, and then they come across one of my videos, and, I've sort of set their mind at ease about what they're going through, and, that feels really good that I get to be there for people. That's why one of the last broadcasts I was talking about, Drew, he's got another channel. He was one of the first ones to realize these changes, and he was sort of one of the very few people that was out there trying to figure things out, but out there with not many people to talk to about it, no people that would listen to him. And at least I've had YouTube and other people realizing it, and there have been people online for over a year before I came along. In fact, it took me over a year to realize it was really happening. So just as an encouraging word, you got to understand, you know, if people aren't seeing it, you've got to sort of shake the dust off your feet and move on. At least you know there's a community online, and I see it in a way as like a gathering. And it's kind of funny, the people that don't see it are the people that seem to be sort of absorbed in their everyday lives, either work or you know, whatever their drive is in life, ambitions and things like that. And then you could tell by a lot of the comments that the people that aren't buying into it and think it's just some crazy theory that people are coming up with, they can be such hateful people about it, you know. And that's an encouragement to me, to be honest with you, because you know, I went, like I said, for a year, and I wasn't on posting a bunch of hateful stuff to people that were saying it was real. I sort of moved on and stumbled across it later on accident, and so it makes me a little more patient with people that's just now realizing it. If people want to have an adult conversation and not really try to make people sound like they're crazy and things like that, I'm more than willing to talk to them and try to convince them that it's real, because it is real. But I'm not really wasting my time with people that are just going around the channels and sort of trying to make people feel stupid, you know, about believing in it, saying it's not real. And because I've noticed people notice different things, even amongst the people who know it's a real phenomenon. They different ones see different changes. So and that's another thing that sort of supports the multiple timeline theory. So one of the things that I think supports the a shift into a higher dimension is, and I'm going to have Joseph Rain on to talk about this, is these pulses from the center of our galaxy, that every time they sort of we have DNA upgrades, not only to our body but different species popping on the scene, and then we have different things like this here. Check out these Rainbow Mountains. This is so crazy to me, because certainly I would have heard about this as a kid, you know. Sure seems like I would have to me, but it's just bizarre. These aren't Photoshopped, these are actually real mountains. And I found this just by typing in Rainbow Mountains into Google. Comes right up. It's not hidden. I mean, anybody can get on there and find these. It's incredible. And then, of course, you got, this tells you where it is here. We got the rainbow trees here. Look at these. They call them rainbow eucalyptus bonsai trees. And you know, I don't recall ever seeing these. You know, it's crazy. Here we have one here. This is a place that sells them. Sell them as fast-growing trees. It's crazy. They're beautiful, but it's just wild that I've certainly never seen them before. So, yeah, I think, like I said, I think we're looking at several different things happening, and it's really the only thing that's makes it to where you can tie in all of these different changes from, I think, some of the things that I thought were purposeful changes that I saw with the Rodin's Thinker statue and the Mona Lisa. Some of the things could go in both categories. I'm just not real sure about, but like with the American Gothic, you can check out my other video on some of the messages I got within the changes that were sort of telling us to get back to our right brain, to our love and our compassion, the message of Jesus, basically, that religion has sort of twisted into something completely different. And just to get everything into a more loving world, to raise the planetary vibration and everything. Oh, before I go on this one, I did get some, I got some cool images on of the eclipse that I'd share with you really fast. This is about as eclipsed as it got here in Tulsa. And you can see with my multiple lenses I got a little bit of a halo or shadow that wasn't there. But yeah, that's about as good as it got. You got a little video clip I can play here too. This is towards the end. But you can see how fast it moved. That was just 20 seconds or something. It's hard to keep it in the screen zoomed in so far. But it was a pretty cool event. And I got to participate in the mass meditation and everything. So excited about the changes we have coming. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one now.